I swear the worst time to hear Christmas music is in January. Since they've cleared house at the Emmys and are still collecting awards at the Globe, I think I need to talk about them now. Welcome to my channel. My name is Joseph and I'm a film fanatic. The best period dramas are always going to be authentic to their settings. This expands our mental horizon and allows us to connect to the story well. So much so that when we stop, we have to restore factory settings before we go out into society again. This is exactly what this show did for me. There will be spoilers, but I'll try and keep it minimal. Shōgun is a 2024 drama series produced by FX. It follows the events that occur when a European ship is found marooned in a fishing village in 17th century Japan during a time of intense political turmoil. It is loosely based on James Clavell's 1975 historical novel of the same name. Whenever a story sets out to create a setting that is different from what most viewers are used to, it is a very difficult, very bulky, and very tedious work. That is why major points are awarded to this show for authenticity and how much they immersed us in their world. Shōgun easily puts us in 17th century feudal Japan without sacrificing the impact of the story. And it does this by introducing us to the story from Anjin's perspective. I don't care what his name is, that's what I'm calling him for the rest of the video. The show is engaging from the start by saying the terrible situation Anjin and his crew are in. How will you go through that and you won't be bathing every day? There's a really good balance of active and passive events that really played into the out of our control thing I was getting throughout the show. The inciting event of the show, the arrival of the European ship, is something that no one obviously anticipated for and clearly changed the direction of the beef Toranaga had with the council. Also, Toranaga was in a much more powerful position before the random earthquake hit, not to talk of the death of his son. This is the only way I can perfectly express my reaction to that boy's death. All this really kept me on the edge of my seat for the whole show, but at the same time, it kind of made the endgame to a lot of the setups underwhelming. We see the daily lives of the Japanese upper and lower class and some of the etiquettes and customs that make their civilization unique, like that whole matter with the dead bird. Hiroyuki Sanada is in his prime, and I am just grateful that I get to witness it. He and Sawai have a strong presence and carry the whole show, evidently so. The beauty of Sawai's casting as Mariko is that she's actually the beauty standard of that time. It goes without saying that I love fiction. On the rare occasion that I do want to read non-fiction, it's usually history because that's my favorite topic. Chinese statured women with dainty hands and feet were hot cake in feudal Japan and even in some cultures today. They were also expected to always have a lilt in their voice when talking to men. This scene in Blue Eye Samurai actually mentions it. And if you're observant when watching the show, you will notice that there is a strong difference from when the women are talking to each other and when the women are talking to men, except for Anjin. Again, authenticity. A major downside to this show for me is that it has one of the worst intro sequences ever. Incredibly dull and incredibly long. As far as characters go, there were a diverse range of characters. Funny how I stated in the beginning of one episode that I would love to see a strong female presence among the antagonists. Then at the ending of that episode, we got Lady Uchiba. Toranaga's son was a nuisance through and through. I really respected Anjin for his resilience and quick wits. He handled himself very well in that incredibly tight situation. There were enough opportunities for him to mess up, but he always pulled through. Toranaga would have given Merisu energy, but if not for the aforementioned passive events and groundedness, we actually got to see him struggle and face hardship. In a show with a lot of unique deaths, I feel Hiromatsu-sama had the best death. And since they've announced the second season, I really want to know what will happen to Kiko, because that should be one dead hooker. Ironically, the character I felt the most amount of sympathy for is Buntaro-sama. Obviously, seeing how unkind he was to Mariko would make him easy to hate. But as the story progressed, we actually got to see that Mariko's frigid nature towards him enabled his unkindness. He's not dead. Who could have seen it coming? In his own way, Buntaro tried to be a decent husband to Mariko, but seeing the intimacy between her and Anjin grow, while knowing how distant she has always been, is enough to get on any man's nerves. Basically a reverse past lives. This dinner scene is probably going to go down as one of my all-time favorite scenes in a series. Mariko's translations were just giving me joy.
What do you say?
My husband comments on the way you eat your noodles. The sound you make while eating reveals the depth of your pleasure.
When the show started, I was actually very uncomfortable with how casual they were with suicide. Then we got this beautiful line from Mariko.
すなわち諦めることではござりませぬ。花は散るがゆえに花なのでござりまする。
It really gave me a lot to think about, especially because her pity party was beginning to irritate me. You self, just do and die. Life and death were a constant theme in the whole show, and that statement beautifully embodies her philosophy. Other themes include politics and racism, because many characters were just racist to Anjin. Aside from the fact that they did not hide their disdain and prejudice, they kept referring to him as a barbarian despite his skills, intelligence, and value, and mocked his naivety of their civilization and way of life. If it was a predominantly white cast and any other race filled the role of Anjin, the racism would have been clear in everybody's eye. In conclusion, I give this show an 8.5. A major drawback is the scene where Mariko tried to fight her way out of the castle. I feel the issue was with the directing because that particular scene was supposed to be very impactful, but it just ended up being lackluster. We also didn't need to see Anjin in the future, and then there's the dull intro. But what do I know? Thank you so much for watching to the very end, but like, subscribe, and share this video. Please leave your comments because I am always looking out for them. I have a nice idea for my next video, but I also want to talk about Arcane. So let me know which you would prefer, and you'll definitely see me soon.